loyal Constructacons. You are loyal, aren't you?
For you, and for the glory of the Decepticons.
You see, we eavesdropped on their plans. Plans to build a whopper solar tower that'd produce megawatts of energy. Energy we could use to destroy the Autobots. Get it? Get it? Huh?
Perhaps this can be used to our advantage. But be warned, do not betray me.
We won't, Megatron. Not at all.
Hello, welcome to the exciting episode of New to Vero 2. I'm your presenter, Shabu RU, and we're going to continue with our G1 unboxing from the Walmart exclusive. And just to recap, we already covered Starscream, and if you see in my earlier videos, we discovered that the red decoder is not included. So I actually, to follow up, I had written to Hasbro letting them know that, hey, I think something is missing. But the reality is that that's not included on any of the reissues. I followed that up with getting the G1 Hot Rod, and as you know, I had the 2006 commemorative, and we found that they're pretty much a carbon copy. I did notice that there was a little bit more shine on the newer ones, where the older ones seemed a little bit dull, and that could just be from aging. So, but they're. And then again, going back to the Starscream, we compared it with a G1 80s Seeker, and we found out that, you know, these are spot on. So I'm happy. I thought basically that would be it. In our area, you know, it's not Philly, it's not New York, it's not LA. So things that make its way down here in the remote parts of Florida. I mean, I don't live in like a hillbilly place, whatever, but we live like halfway in between Orlando and West Palm, so it's a quaint beachside area. So we don't get that much, you know, city or, you know, all that type of media and stuff like that. So I thought basically that would be it. But much to my surprise, I got Devastator. Woo! So I'm really excited about this. Basically, you know, my cousin had Devastator growing up. I didn't have him, so finally, and I love the packaging on these. If for those of us that remember, they came out individually, and then you would get, and then each individual one had a component that you would use to assemble Devastator. And then later on, the G1, they did come out with this packaging itself, and where all the combined, you know, all the Constructacons were all in one. In another video, I also highlighted that I had the variant that came out, which was the Tonka truck colored Constructacons. And believe it or not, I like these a little bit more, but you know, they're not going to reissue this color. Unfortunately, I only have 3 of these. I guess never had the other 2, but I also thought that would be cool, like a yellow Devastator and then the original green Devastator together. That would be pretty cool, but alas, that wasn't meant to be. So Devastator is interesting in the sense that his history is kind of like confusing, because we know from the cartoon that he was best friends with Omega Supreme, and they built Crystal City, and then Megatron got involved and reprogrammed them, and they betrayed Omega Supreme. And then also we see him in another episode where they helped make Megatron, and then we saw another episode where Megatron says that they built the Constructacons on Earth. I think there's one famous episode where all the Cybertronian transforms were affected except the Dinobots and the Constructacons. So I don't know, and I know the comic, he was made by Soundwave, I believe. So the history of the Constructacons is very ambiguous, so I don't know. But regardless, the toy is cool. So without further ado, we're going to go into the opening of this, because you guys know that, you know, I like to keep things like this in the box, but I do open them up because the temptation is unbearable. Like, you know, I don't know how those people Like, don't touch them. I mean, that's what it's made for. You know, I believe. So it'd be G.I. Joe Transformers. I like to play. You know, I like to hold them and play with them. So anyway, we're gonna start with that. Again, thank you. So let's head over to that. All right. Bye. All right. Here we are with Devastator, Construction Warrior. I think that's funny. Anyway, so we're gonna begin the unboxing. And it's funny, I use this tool, which is all-in-one. I think it's kind of cool. I accidentally once, I took it and I went through airport security not knowing that I still had it in my wallet. And there's nothing more terrifying when a TSA agent's like, "Can you come with me, sir?" I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, but anyway, they were cool about it. So here we go. Like with all my unboxing, I'm pretty careful because, you know, it essentially is going back in the box. Alright, so nice. Again, it's a carbon copy of the 90 one. There's plastic, there's tape all around. Tape on this side as well. Yeah, there's tape all around. So my first recommendation is get exactly that. Devastator's head. I think this one's Bone Crusher. No, this is Scrapper. It's funny because they all have, if you remember from the show, they all had different personalities. Remember, I think Scavenger, he had that special device to detect like energon and stuff. Like Megatron always used him to detect things. So they all have their individual pistols, missiles, the eject. That's pretty cool. So here's a shot that I've been waiting to do. Look at that. The two variations of the Constructacons. That's pretty cool. Wow. One, of course, here is the instructions. So let's open that. No need checking for the red decoder because we know that that's not included. But I will say this, the sticker sheet. And it's properly labeled with all the Constructacons. That's pretty cool. And each individuals, I'm sure, This will be like a pretty cool poster. Because you know it's going to be big. That's pretty cool. That might be a good idea. Frame it and as a decor. Well, anyway, the last thing is like the quality of it. Again, it's spot on. It's remarkable. So I do hope that Hasbro keeps reissuing, like, you know, maybe every few, because that's basically it with the major reissues. Those three: Starscream, Hot Rod, and the Constructacons. And then they have a few mini bots. You know, Bumblebee, of course, is the headliner with the mini bots, and that's basically it for this run. I don't know if they're going to continue with this or not. You know, I'm not following Transformers. I know IDW has about like 5 different comics for Transformers. I don't know which one's the main title and what's actually going on. I should do that. I mean, that since I'm already following G.I. Joe and covering that. And there is rumor that in the new Bumblebee movie that the character played by John Cena, and I'm going to thank our good buddy JoeFan82 for pointing it out, that John Cena's character may potentially be a tie-in with the upcoming G.I. Joe movie. I don't know that for sure. But his character is supposed to be, I guess, some relations to Joe Colstone, you know, the founder of G.I. Joe. Colton, yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see that develop. But I'm not going to form Devastator on camera, but you know, it's probably been done and everybody knows what it is, and it's a pain in the butt and it'll take forever to do that. But for the sake, I highly recommend these reissues. They're only out for a limited time. There's only a infinite number that they produce, and this is from the Hasbro rep herself. She told me that, you know, whatever they made, they send it out to the stores. It's kind of like the Nintendo deal. They're not announcing anything. You can't buy them online, or I mean, they're gone. But so you just have to keep looking, and hopefully they'll turn up in your local Walmart. But that's basically it here. That's Shabu Are You. Thank you for watching, and have an excellent day.